Hey, Joyful Journeyer, Anita Adams here, your host. And today I'm excited to introduce you to Adera Angelucci, an award-winning TV show host, director, and producer at SPIRO Creative Inc. Adira is also the recipient of the Community Spirit Wow Award in 2023. Congratulations on that. So exciting. And as a business coach, Adira empowers passionate, purpose-driven entrepreneurs to elevate their businesses. Her best-selling memoir, Free Spirit, explores the connection between self-love, chaotic creativity, and leadership. With over 20 years of experience in TV, radio, video, promotions, marketing, and business, Adira has witnessed remarkable individuals hesitating to step into the spotlight. With her infectious energy, she reignites passion, reaffirms unique gifts, and enables confident message sharing to reach wider audiences. Adira's transformative guidance leads others to fulfillment and contributes to reshaping the world. Welcome, Adira. I'm so excited to have you on this show. And I just realized you and I met at Lisa Marie Platsky's. Oh, no, it wasn't her conference, but we met with her at a conference in Dallas, wasn't it?
That's right. E-Women's.
That's right. It was E-Women's conference. That's right.
And we had all this in common in regards to sort of the film industry. And
that's right.
I was totally magnetized to you because of your infectious energy as well. I see your soul sister here.
Yeah. Absolutely. There is exactly that. There is a beautiful energy that we share together. And I felt that the moment we met, and we had a lot of fun in Dallas and got to know each other a little bit. And here we are, like, what is it, 4, 5, 6 years later, I think.
I
6
know.
years later.
And you completely transformed your life. Yeah, like really. I just want to talk about it. Yeah, which we will do.
A lot has happened over the last 6 years for sure. And for you, a mommy.
And me too. Yes. Yeah.
So
over
exciting.
COVID, my husband and we were like, what are we going to do for fun? We can't go anywhere. So we were like, let's have a baby. That'll be an adventure.
I'm sure it was. Oh my gosh, that's definitely perhaps life's biggest adventure, having kids. Don't I know it?
100%. Yeah, it's delicious. It's wonderful. Yeah, thanks. Yeah,
great word. Well, we're going to talk about all sorts of stuff. Transforming yourself, stepping into the best version of who you are, risk-taking, being an entrepreneur, making those shifts. And, you exemplify all of that. And so I thought it would be really cool to have a conversation with you about your journey. Why don't we start there? Like, I saw something on your website actually that I really liked. You shared that you were passionate about helping your clients become joyful risk takers to step into building their businesses with confidence. So I can't help thinking that you are that person. You are a joyful risk taker. Can you tell us about your journey in becoming an entrepreneur and learning to take risks?
So I don't know if your viewers will identify with just feeling out of place a little bit in the society that was sort of built for them. So if whether it's school or a job or kind of whatever sort of box you were happily, guided to, you kind of got there and was like, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like I can fully express here. And I don't know what that means, but I was curious personally. And I went on sort of a journey to find where I could feel most fully expressed in the work that I'm here to do in the world. And that was really important to me. And that has been my guiding light. I'd say ever since I sort of entered the workforce. I had a dream in high school to have my own television show. I remember telling all my friends, one day I'm going to have my own TV show. And everyone's like, yeah, right. Look at Adera go. She's like, it's such a show off. I get that all the time. Like, she has no problem being the center of attention. And I get not everyone's like that, but I somehow had an okay time sort of just showing up and sort of declaring myself in a room or whatever. And then, cut to 11 years later, I did have this TV show that just aired on the local station out here in Vancouver, British Columbia. but it was a dream come true, if you will. And then seeing that and having that actually come to fruition really gave me confidence that I could do whatever I wanted in this world, right? And then the Pandora box opens because you're like, well, what am I here to really do? You know, like it wasn't to just run a TV show. I mean, that was sort of one aspect of it. I got to see a bit of my fully expressness come out there, but then there was other pieces as you grow and evolve as a human that you really want to try and have experience with too. So yeah.
Beautiful. I love that. So do you feel that by stepping out and pursuing things, you built confidence so you can
Yes.
continue to do more? Yeah.
Yes.
It's like confidence, taking action breeds confidence, isn't it?
Always. Yeah. You
Hmm.
can't get any confidence if you're not doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Uh-huh.
true. So true. So I'm interesting. You said something about, just going and you have all these ideas and going and trying different things. So would you try something and discover that no, that's not really it,
Yep.
and then go and try something else? Was that your process for finding where you're really meant to be?
100%. And sometimes you get there and you're not sure why you don't like it or what.
Mm,
Sometimes you're very clear. You're like, this is a mundane job. I can see myself in the future still doing this. And am I happy? No. Okay, next, right? Or sometimes there was aspects of the job you really enjoyed, and then other things that maybe challenged you in a way that didn't feel like that was bringing out the best in me. And so, yeah, it was a lot of trial and error. Like I'm talking like 60 jobs.
wow.
Over the course of my trying to find what I'm here to do. And then that's when I hit entrepreneurship, because honestly, like I don't know what they teach in school now, but in our era, it was like you got out of school, you either went to more school or you got a job. Like that was sort of the deal. It wasn't like become your own entrepreneur, woman
Yeah.
of light, you can do anything you want to do in the world. That wasn't really
First
yeah.
off, thank you for saying our era, because I'm at
Yes.
least like a couple generations older than your
Yeah.
era. Thank you for including me in that.
Of course. Look at you. You're just like, I don't know, you're de-aging as you're traveling the world. I'll tell you that right now. It's all the time Joe zone jumping you're doing.
You are precious. I love you. Okay, I want to come back to this because I think it's really important. So you said you had like all these jobs and you just kept trying different things and different things. And I had a meeting with one of my clients the other day, and she was talking about disappointment, that she goes in and she does something and then she discovers it's not really what she wants, and it totally deflates her. And
Mm,
and because she's had so many of those experiences where she's tried something new and then discovered that it's not really what she wants, she's afraid to take action now because she's afraid that she's
mm,
going to waste time. I'm curious, from your perspective, having done that multiple times,
mhm.
what's your secret for keeping the faith and the belief in yourself and continuing to courageously pursue things even if things don't haven't worked out? And they
Yeah. So
ultimately they have, but it's taken,
right.
as you said, 60 jobs to get to where you are
Get
now.
there. Oh, gosh. Okay. So two things there. That old adage of like things happen for you, not to you.
Yeah.
And then also, if you think of these people who really wanted to be a writer or really wanted to be an actor, it was like they were told no like thousands of times. Like so many people would have quit, right? But they just kind of kept going. You hear this often, like the George Clooney story. And like you can look at a lot of these successful artists and how many times they were told no. And then also, if she is like me, looking for some sort of fulfillment in her work, like she wants it to be not necessarily like life's work. Like I guess I am kind of doing my life's work as it evolves and I evolve, but that's what I'm looking for. And a lot of jobs out there don't give you that opportunity really to flourish in that way. And that's why entrepreneurship really for me was the answer, because I can do anything.
Hmm.
Like I run the ship, right? So which is a detriment sometimes too, because you have to just deal with your mind, and you're the top bee of
Right.
your honeycomb. And so sometimes it's difficult to know what next step to take. But it's been, I tell you, entrepreneurship for me has been the biggest spiritual journey I think I've ever gone on. So yeah. Anyway, I would tell her to keep going. Sorry, that
Mhm.
was what I was gonna say. Yeah.
No, absolutely. And one of the things that I shared with her is that I don't believe that there's any wrong choice and that everything we do is a part of the journey that's getting us to where we ultimately need to be. So, your 60 jobs, I'm sure that was probably an exaggeration, but all the
No,
jobs, no.
I had
Okay.
like I had 12 in 1 year. And so if you could just imagine from the minute I was like 16 to I think I quit working for others by the time I was 29. So yeah, you could, yeah. I mean, some jobs were just for the summer. Some
Yeah,
jobs I lasted
sure.
only 3 days in. Like I tried my best. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I love it. I love it. But I would say that that whole journey for yourself was a
Yeah,
part of your evolution, that you needed to do all
100%.
these things to find where you are ultimately meant to be. So,
Yes. And let
and
me tell you that, oh, go ahead.
no, no, you.
Well, I was just going to say to this woman too, and to any listener out there, you would start to get on yourself and down on your. People would tell you you have no stick to itiveness, you have no discipline. All of this is getting spat at me as I'm kind of journeying through this, and of course, I start feeling down, and I'm like, why don't I fit anywhere? This is what I mean about these boxes that were put in front of me, and it wasn't until honestly, like, entrepreneurship was the answer. I don't know what to tell you, but I've been at my job now with SPIRO Creative Inc. for over 11 years, right? And that is like, boom, there you go, peeps. Like, I just
There's the
needed to find my
stickiness.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And why it works for me is because at Riona, Spiro started as a video production company. So we went in and did promotional videos and commercials and testimonial videos and things like this for businesses. And every day, Anita, I'm in a different location with a different client learning about their life. It's almost like you parachute me into all of these industries and I'm in their little box for the day, learning and seeing what they do,
Mm.
grabbing their story and then like helping to promote that or talk about it online and in different ways that they want to use that video. But why it's kept my interest this long is because of the variety it has for me. Like
Yeah.
I'm constantly doing some. I mean, I guess my delivery is the video, but every video is different, and every story is different, and every person is different, and it fills my cup.
Yeah, awesome. Now, I
Yeah.
imagine being an entrepreneur myself as well, like I have gone through days and times, sometimes more than just days, where I'm like, oh man, like this sucks. Even though I love what I do. Have you experienced that? Have
Mm-hmm.
you experienced times where you're just like, oh, I just, I don't want to do my accounting, or I don't want to, whatever it is, that piece of the entrepreneurial journey that you have to push yourself through.
Yeah. So the accounting is definitely something I don't do, and I have a girl for that. That's definitely a must do. And then the other thing I want to talk about is partnership, because when you can find someone else to hold the vision with you, and be able to contribute their skills and gifts and talents to the pieces that you're not great at. Honestly, like I say entrepreneurship, but it's been a co-entrepreneurship throughout my entire career of anything that
Hmm.
I've done. I feel like it always is more successful when I partner with someone to do those things that I don't want to do. Yeah, no, I just wish I could say, yeah, there's this part of my job I don't really love. Job. I know people are like job,
Yeah.
but it is my job. I love my work. I don't know. I know what you're saying, but I think
Hmm.
that's because we do need partners. We do need help in those
Yeah.
pieces that we're not as awesome at.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that there's been some days that I feel it's harder to do some of the work
Mm,
that I'm doing. And it's just like, okay, but this is mine to do. And then I lean in and I start the work, and then I find that space again where I'm like, yeah, this is,
mm,
like I think I was
nice.
sharing with you earlier that whenever I do a live session, so like even my retreats, I've done last year I did 12, no, I did 13 retreats in 11 months. And so I did a ton of retreats. And then I also, I'm hosting these, the master classes. And I always get really like, oh my, like introverted just before doing these. And I feel like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable about this whole thing. And then I lean in, and my opening night with my guests at my retreats, or the first couple sentences that I say when I start with my masterclass, and I I fall into the work I'm doing and I love it, but there is those moments
Mm,
that happen just before. It's like almost like a little bit of stage fright. And then I do it. I'm
mm,
like, that was awesome. So I don't know.
mm-hmm.
I'm just curious. Do you have anything? Do you experience anything like that, or is it always awesome for you 100% of the time?
That's all awesome for me all the time. Yeah, no, no, of course it's not. That'd be hilarious if that was true. Yeah, that's like trying to ride the awesome wave all day, every day. No, fuck,
Yeah.
that's a good point. I hope it's okay. I swear. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
life
please.
is obviously like up and down and over and
Yeah.
around and good and not so good. And yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's so interesting. So for me, that means that you just really care. And you
Mm,
might get in your head a bit about like who all is going to show up and are they going to have a good time? And like, am I gonna
totally.
give the value that,
Totally.
I
That's
want
exactly
to,
the inner
yeah.
dialogue that's going on. Exactly. Yeah.
And then the
Yeah.
minute you kind of like drop in and just ground in and you get present and you're with the people, they're just like, this is amazing. And you're like, I
Totally.
know this is so amazing. We're doing this together, right? So
That's exactly
yeah.
it. I guess I wanted to presence that because I think people think when you find what you're calling that it's supposed to be awesome all the time.
Mm,
And
mm-hmm,
and I think it is awesome a lot of the time. And sometimes it's darn right scary and
mm-hmm,
uncomfortable. And I really believe
mm-hmm,
too, if we're doing something that we're meant to do that's shaping the world, like you say, you want to have a positive impact in the world, you got to put yourself out there in a big way. And it's just
mm-hmm.
it's big, bold, and uncomfortable. And of course you're going to
Yes.
feel of course you're going to feel at times there's going to be moments where you want to hide. I felt that often where I just want to hide, and then I force myself outside of that comfort zone, and then it's just like, yes, this is so great. Why did I doubt myself, and
Right.
anyways, so
Yeah, well, we do because sometimes things don't work out the way we had
yeah.
envisioned it would. And then those we kind of take them as a hit instead of like, it just wasn't meant for that moment, right? Because sometimes we do things that really work. And what I get really fascinated with is sometimes when it works and you try to replicate it, it doesn't. And then you're just like, well,
Yeah.
what? I was told to like double down on the thing that works, right? Like that's what every
Yes.
entrepreneurial successful person says, like do the thing that works over and over again. And it doesn't for me. And I think that's because I don't want to do repetition. I don't want to
Ah.
create the same thing over and over and over again. Yes, you're going to work with me and we're always going to kind of be in this circle together. Like I put myself in a box, but I like the box that I'm in, and you're going to get that work with me, but how it's going to come to you and how I'm going to offer it will always be different and change because that's who I am, right? So
Right. And it keeps it interesting for you. I
for
totally
me,
get that
100%.
100%.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, I want to talk about risk taking again, just to go back to
Hmm.
it a little bit. Do you feel like you need to be a risk taker to be a successful
Hmm.
entrepreneur?
Oh my gosh, yes. Like, first off, my husband and I, when we first said, like, hey, want to own a video company together? We literally had, I think, $1,200 in our bank account, and we bought a $300 DSLR camera. We were renting at the time. And so basically, what I'm trying to tell you here is maybe we had a month, maybe a month's worth of, income to be able to support this new endeavor. But we both left our jobs and went for it. And I remember charging like $300 a video or 150 a video, where I did a lot of contra work, like where, you gave me this and I'll give you a video kind of thing. And like, look at us like 11 years later doing this, but that's a huge risk.
Hmm.
And a lot of people aren't willing to take that risk for, they have circumstances where they feel like it's just not possible for them. And I get that, but there has to be some level of risk, like whether that's putting yourself out there, whether it's, oh, I don't know, what are all the risks people need to take? Phoning that person, asking for that position, like whatever that is. Yeah. Like you just said too, it's like you go into this hiding and then you either stay there or you got to take the risk to step out. Right. And then that's the only way things are ever going to keep unfolding for you
Yeah,
is if you,
absolutely. I guess there's different levels of risks and different types of
yes,
risks. There's the risk where you're stepping out of your comfort zone, and then there's the financial risks and
yes,
the time risks. You're devoting so much time and energy into something, and you don't know if it's gonna pan out. Um,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I
or
totally
going
agree
across
that
the
you.
world risk. Yeah. Sorry. I just
Yes,
like, yeah,
yes.
just take make going on an adventure risk. Yeah. Risky business. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So, would you recommend that if somebody wanted to start a business, would you recommend that they do like a risk assessment, like a personal tolerance, understanding what your ability or willingness is to take risk? Would that be a good
Yeah.
idea?
Like almost in investing or something. Yeah, I guess if you're into assessments, sure. If
Yeah.
if you like that kind of thing, if you like the tarot or the astrological sign or
Yeah.
your archetype or whatever, yeah, for sure you could do some studying into that. You really don't know what your risk tolerance is until you start taking risks. It's kind of like the confidence piece, right?
That's
And then yeah, and then you can see what you can handle and what you can't, right? And when I say you can't, it's you choose not to. It's like you wouldn't do it if you couldn't handle it, and then you're doing it, and you're like, oh, I'm not handling this well, so I'm going to back it off a little,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so it sounds like the way you're talking that risk taking and confidence are really there, hand in hand, aren't they? Like you have to have the
Hmm.
confidence to take risks. Do you have any tips that you can offer on how to boost your confidence? We already covered one, I guess, and that's just simply stepping into action. That's, one baby step will help boost your
Hmm.
confidence. Are there other things that you've shared with your clients that helps them find the confidence or the self-belief to lean into pursuing the entrepreneurial journey?
Hmm. There is. I'm going to share it with you in just one second, but I just wanted to say when it comes to confidence, a lot of times when people struggle with that, it's because they've got trauma with either like a little T or a big T that has influenced them
Mm,
throughout their life when it comes to showing up or saying what they want to say or doing something. They've been shut down in some capacity. And when that happens to us, it gets held in the body and it becomes our belief. And then it's trying to overcome that over and over again, right? And it can be so fearful for so many. And it can take years sometimes for someone to actually step up on stage or be able to even post something or whatever the thing is that we're asking them to jump into, right? Um, and I really think you need to look at what that is that kind of started that process of you shutting down in that way, and then finding that light within you
mm,
that you are this gorgeous one in a lifetime being that's on this planet right now, and that you are absolutely deserving to share and speak and be heard, right, and be seen for who you really
mm.
are, because that's truly how we connect to others. And you're giving me a gift by really showing up and being who you are, because I get to really like bask in your light, really, right, and shine back to you. And so to be able to have that interaction with other humans and with yourself, I feel like it takes a lot of self-development and personal development, and that can go in all sorts of ways. You could find some counseling, or my favorite, which is what I wanted to kind of hit up, is the Kundalini training that I've done and continue to do, because it hits on so many aspects of our nervous system and
Mm.
sort of the beliefs that have been held in our body, to release them and then be able to really feel our divine being for a minute, so that we can have that sensation and to then be able to remember that part of us when we are asked to step forward and we're asked to take the mic, or we're asked to do something that makes us fearful. We can take that action because we know we have a strong base. So it's really becoming good and with who you are and what you're here to do, and like just running with it.
I love that.
Oh,
I
sorry, that was a
forgot that
long
you.
answer.
No, it was a great answer, and I forgot that you were also a Kundalini practitioner. Another connection you and I have. It's fun. I've studied Kundalini and got certified as well, and I teach Kundalini at my retreats. I love it. I just think it's a very powerful
Wasn't
practice.
it?
Very,
Isn't it?
yeah,
I know.
yeah.
Isn't it just like it's I cry, I sob in those classes, I
Oh
laugh in
yeah,
those classes. Like it is an emotional roller coaster of honestly the good stuff. Like
yeah.
it's such a feel good. And yeah, and having that base, do you understand what I mean when I say that? It's almost like, so even when you were talking about doing things in our business that doesn't really like fill our cup in that moment, but it brings us there. That's kind of what I mean too. It's not that I have this like Kundalini aspect to it, but I just know that it's all a part of the process and all like almost
Mm.
when, so in Kundalini, for anyone who doesn't know, sometimes you can have your arms in a V, like up above your head for like 8 minutes. Okay. And your shoulders are like, I freaking hate this.
Trembling.
I hate you. I hate this teacher. I hate this pose. Like you just want to scream and like leave, and you want to put your arms down and you can't put your arms down. So anyway, just imagine all that going on in your head while your arms are up, right? And it's just like it really builds, endurance in your life, right? For when we have to like
Interesting.
push through to get to the
Yeah.
good stuff, which I don't know what really comes from the good stuff after your arms go down. Well, the release, really. It's like, thank the Lord that's over.
That's hilarious.
My
I love
husband won't
it.
come back to a class because that's what happened to him. And he was like, I'm not putting my arms out for 8 minutes.
Minutes.
Like,
I
goodness.
have never experienced that actually that long.
Really?
So I wonder who
Oh,
you're.
it was the
No.
hardcore Kundalini class that we
It
went to.
sounds
Yeah.
like it, yeah. What I love about Kundalini is it's all about bowing to the divine wisdom within. And that's
Within.
that's that's my language. That's what we're here to
Mm.
do, is to understand who we are. And this Kundalini practice is such a beautiful way, pardon me, beautiful way of tapping into that through breath work and some repetitive exercises. I find it so beautiful. Um,
And
Very
mantra
cool.
with like chanting and
Yeah.
dancing. So who I go
Yeah.
to, and I'm happy to drop notes on her. She's best, but she like blares. It's almost like a rave in the middle of the day with like zero
Awesome.
drugs. It's like so fun. And
Is
I
she
just
online? Does she do anything
yeah,
online? Okay,
yeah.
so maybe I can do
Yeesh.
that from Albania and check out her
Yeah.
classes.
I'll
Okay,
send
so
it to you. Yeah,
okay,
it's so
please,
good.
and we'll share it with any of the listeners as well, in case
Awesome.
you're wanting to check that out. This is not the direction I was planning on going in with this
Okay, sorry.
conversation, but it's awesome. I love it. I love it. So good. And I mean, these are all tools though that we use, right, to connect with ourselves, to be our best. And
Yes.
this is just one of those tools.
And I
And
don't
I
know if
think.
I yeah,
Oh, we're so polite, both of us Canadians here. We're
I
wanting
know.
to make room for the other to speak. You go. I'm the host. You speak.
I just wanted to say those tools that you're speaking of, Anita, those had to be there for me to be able to be who I am now in my
Yeah.
work. So
Yeah.
if you're out there, looking for, like I said, I did want to find a job that brought me fulfillment, but only after I found my own personal fulfillment. So, the job I have now doesn't make me, my relationship doesn't make me, all the things that I've created around me doesn't make me. I already am perfect, whole, and complete as I am, and I already had that in me. Then, as your base, to then go out and find the things that are also going to bring you joy. Really, is the essence of it,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
experience. Yeah,
Yeah. Beautifully said. Thank you, Adira. You and I, we speak the same language. I
I
love
told
it.
you. I told you.
All right. Yeah, just to close up on the spiritual tools, I think it's really important to find the things that work for you. And Kundalini works for me. It might not work for somebody else that's listening to it, to this. There are so many different tools out there that we can use to help us tap into that inner wisdom that will then help us find our joy and find the path that we're supposed to be on. So very
Correct.
cool. Yeah.
Perfect. Yep.
So, in your experience with working with all your clients, would you say, the main or one of the main reasons people are hesitant to step into the spotlight and to embrace their calling?
One thing really is that they just want to do the thing they're good at. So whether they're like a fitness instructor, a coach, a sandwich maker, they literally just want to do the thing, and they just want people to come to them, but they don't want to actually go out there and get the people. They're not really interested or know how to, share themselves in bigger rooms, or whether it be networking or online on social media or whatever. They're just kind of at a loss for that. And that's usually what keeps them stuck. I mean, they might be doing fine in their business, but they want to obviously have
Yeah.
more, yeah, going
Yeah,
on. So,
yeah. Yeah, I
mhm.
get that. And that's your area of expertise, isn't it? It's helping people
Yes.
find their message so that they can easily get reach their audience without the stress. Yeah.
Yeah, like so through the thousands of people we've worked with, I know it's so cool. I don't know. I'm really good at seeing somebody kind of off the bat and then really hearing what it is they're wanting to share and do. And then I have a way of just phrasing it in a way and putting together sort of a path for them that would make it really easy for them to share. And sometimes they have a hard time with that still. They don't want to actually do the sharing. So then they would pay me to do that for them. So whether that be the social media posts or their videos or whatever, I really love it because I see fascinating people that just offer such goodness in the world, and I just want more for them. I want more people to know of them. I want to direct their money into those areas. Like you, Anita, I want to bring all you the money. I want to bring you all the money. And so, not that it's all about the money, but the hearts. I want to bring you the hearts, and the hearts
Awesome.
just happen to
Love
carry
it.
the wallet. So yeah.
Yeah.
And really shift our planet to really start being more conscious and thoughtful, and putting our dollar into places that are actually like uplifting each other and helping Mother Earth versus the opposite, which I know we don't mean to do, but the world's just sort of been structured that way, where some things that we deem important are actually quite detrimental. So it's just learning how to wake up from that, and then start to support people who are helping in that process.
I love that that's a focus for you, and that you've got so much clarity in the kind of clients that you want to work with as well. So
Yes.
you're modeling what you teach people as well by sharing. That's the kind of client that you want to work with. So beautiful. I think that's important. Okay. So I wanted to talk to you about your book. I thoroughly enjoyed it when it came out. Free Spirit is the name of Adera's book. And in it, she explores the connection between self-love, chaotic creativity, and leadership. And I'm curious about exploring the connection between these three things. So let's talk about that: self-love, chaotic creativity,
Creativity.
and
Yeah.
leadership. So can
And
you sum
leadership.
up the connection between these
Yes.
three
I
things?
sure can. So it was kind of this is a great way to kind of go full circle with our talk, because really that self-love piece is that base that you and I were talking about. So finding a modality or tools that really help support your self-love and your spiritual awakening and evolution, and understanding the divinity that is within you, right? That you have access to at all times, right? So that's your self-love piece. And then from there, you go out and be chaotically creative. That's where you find your confidence. That's where you try things. That's where you start to learn and you grow and you do the thing. And then the leadership piece is, once you've got all that knowledge, which is really your collage, if you will, if you didn't go to college, of experience, then you're able to really see where you want to lead in your life, and the kinds of things that you want to take a firm stand in and on, and you start sort of directing your energy and time in those areas. And then you kind of, if you're not a leader of other, you are a leader always of others, but you lead in your own life. And then as you're doing that, others will follow, and then they'll become leaders too. I mean, I want a whole world of leaders who know how to reciprocate and be led and lead. And we're all sort of working together for the one big mission of really supporting each other. And the planet is really my why. Yeah. But the book kind of takes you on a journey. I was just going to say, the book just takes you on a journey. And after each chapter, I ask you questions around your life and those pieces for you, so that you're kind of following along to find your own way of leading in the world.
Yeah, it's a great personal growth book. So I love the stories that you share and your personal journey, and then the opportunity to be reflective. It's
Mm-hmm.
very well done. So very
Thanks,
cool.
Anita. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And I love the chaotic creativity. That's again, maybe that's a reflection of you going out and just being like trying all these different things, right? Is that where that idea comes from? Just going out and exploring and trying things, and even within your own business, just keep trying things that light you up,
Yes.
that feel
Yes.
that you're excited about doing. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Go move on to the next thing. Is that kind of what you're
Yes.
talking about with the creative
Yeah, I
energy?
mean, my editor came up with the word chaotic, and it does kind of have a negative undertone to it, or something like chaotic. Like, who wants to be chaotic, right? But it was chaotic a bit, because it would be like, I'm over here now, I'm over here now, I'm trying this thing, and it was just that, Anita. It was like, this is working, this doesn't work. Oh, I don't like this. And then it was finding, even now, when I feel the most centered and grounded in my why, if you will, of like why I do the work I do. I'm still sort of building out and evolving how I want to best serve, which I don't think will ever end. But
Yeah.
it's more clear now to me after 11 years than it ever has been before. So, and that's only because of the time. And same with you. Like, you'll come on masterclass probably in 3 years, and you won't have that same butterfly feeling. Not that you won't care, you'll care lots, but you've had so much experience now doing it that it doesn't kind of hit you the same way. You're more
Mm.
excited. You already know what kind of value you bring, right, to others. You don't really question that anymore.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, maybe.
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 Maybe not. Okay, maybe
Maybe
not.
not. It's because it's interesting because I used to host events, live events for the film industry. It was a script reading event that I did for 7 years, and I would always feel that for 7 years, I'd always feel that little twinge of and excitement, but nervousness before going on stage and introducing the
Okay.
night and whatnot. And I remember there was a couple times where I didn't quite have that same energy, and the night fell flat, which is interesting. I think we bring a creative energy. So nervousness is another, is a form of creative energy. And
Yeah.
so I'm okay if
Oh.
I will always feel a little bit of that, and I also feel that's part of me knowing that I'm stepping out of my comfort zone,
Mm.
and that's the growth zone. Stepping out of your comfort
Mm.
zone is the growth zone, and I want to keep growing. So I'm okay
That's
with
so
that
cool.
discomfort. Anyways.
I love it. Well, now you're making me think I need to push myself more. So you
Hmm.
might be right. Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
I've gotten too comfortable, Anita, too comfortable. I better start questioning myself again. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. There's some times where we need to be comfortable too, for sure. And you've
Hmm.
got a not quite 2-year old right now, so there's a lot going on,
uh,
in your life. Very cool.
uh,
So,
uh,
Adera, if people wanted to connect with you, can you tell us a little bit about the programs that you do? Do you do one-on-one coaching? I know you offer
mhm,
retreats as well. Do you
mhm.
have other programs? Like, give us the lay of the land. How can we work
I
with
have all
you?
the things. I have all the
All the
things.
things.
Yeah, so aderaangelucci.com is kind of where you can get a good hit on me. And I offer a light up package, which really is this 2 hour sort of deep dive into what you're wanting to create or what you've already created, and coming up with sort of the messaging behind that, how best we want to promote you online, offline, like where do you need to be? How do we best, show you up so that it really feels aligned for you? Because that's super important. Like, I want you to look at your brand. So whatever the brand is a word that I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it. It's basically who you are, and on for your website or your logo or whatever all feels super juicy. Like, that's me, right? I think that's super important. And then I help you get clients, basically. So we look at my network of thousands of women, and then we look at your network, and we come up with ways in which we can get your name out there. So that's really what I love to do. And then follow up to that would be, if you're in my hood, I could come and take pictures of you, and we could do reels, we do some social media kind of stuff together, or you can hire my more expensive company, SPIRO Creative Inc., and we can do a proper like promotional video. Depends on where you're at in your business. Yeah.
Awesome. I love it.
Mhm.
And Adira also has a wonderful newsletter that she puts out consistently. You're so much more consistent than I am. I love it. And you put out some really great information in your newsletter. So,
Thank you.
how would people find that on your website? I'm assuming as well. Yeah.
Yeah, the opt-in there is just 3 ways to promote yourself with ease. And then if you just signed up for that and you get your little PDF, then I send an email out usually once a month of events and things that are going on that you could show
Yeah.
up at to
Yeah.
share yourself. Yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. It was fun. I love this kind of conversation. This doesn't feel like work. This is just hanging out with good people and, learning about each other and catching up and all that stuff. And I've got some good tips that you've shared with us today that I'll be practicing as well. So thank you so much for being here with us. And Joyful Journeyer, if you know anybody that is looking to expand their business and they're needing some, the PR services and branding services that Adera offers, share this with them. Let them know about the work that Adera is doing. And yeah, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, Joyful Journeyers. Boo boo, and Anita.